r/AmItheAsshole for giving away our dog without telling my co-parenting wife. I'm sitting in my parents' driveway 3 states away, watching my dad scratch behind Charlie's ears while my mom fills up his new food bowl. The golden retriever's tail is wagging like nothing's changed, like he hasn't just become the nuclear bomb in my divorce war. My phone has been buzzing non-stop for the last 4 hours. 37 missed calls from Sarah. 43 text messages that started as confusion, escalated to anger, and have now reached what I can only describe as unhinged fury. The latest one just came through: "You have destroyed Emma." She's been crying for 2 hours. Bring him back right now or I'm calling my lawyer. I turn the phone face down on the passenger seat and watch Charlie explore his new yard. He seems happy enough. Dogs adapt. It's humans who hold grudges. The irony isn't lost on me that Sarah's threatening to call her lawyer. She's been weaponizing that threat for months now, along with our 8-year-old daughter Emma and yes, Charlie himself. Want to pick up Emma an hour early for your weekend? Well, I guess Charlie stays here then since you can't follow our agreement. Need to reschedule Tuesday dinner because of a work emergency. Funny how work always comes first. Maybe Charlie and I will take a little vacation that weekend. Every single time I didn't bend to her increasingly ridiculous demands, Charlie became collateral damage. And Emma? She'd call me crying because Mommy said Daddy didn't want to see Charlie anymore, that I was being selfish, that maybe we couldn't have sleepovers at Daddy's house because Charlie would miss Mommy too much. The custody agreement says we share everything 50-50. The house was sold, assets divided, even the damn silverware split down the middle. But somehow Charlie became Sarah's ace in the hole, her emotional leverage whenever she wanted something that wasn't in our decree. 2 weeks ago was the final straw. Sarah decided she wanted me to pay for Emma's summer camp, not half, all of it, plus take a reduction in my custody time because camp was better for Emma's development than sitting around Daddy's apartment. When I said no, when I suggested we discuss it through our lawyers like civilized people, Sarah's response was swift and brutal: "Fine. Charlie and I think Emma should spend her weekends somewhere more stable. Somewhere with a proper yard." Emma called me that Friday night, sobbing. Not because she couldn't see me, but because Mommy told her Charlie was sick and couldn't travel anymore. I drove to Sarah's house and saw Charlie through the window, perfectly healthy, playing fetch in the backyard. When I confronted Sarah, she just smiled and said, "Funny how different your priorities become when someone you love is involved, isn't it?" That's when I knew this had to end. Not just for me, but for Emma. Sarah wasn't just manipulating me anymore, she was teaching our daughter that love is conditional, that affection is currency, that the people and things you care about can be held hostage to get what you want. So yes, I loaded Charlie into my car this morning while Emma was at school and Sarah was at work. I drove 8 hours straight to my parents' place in Ohio. I didn't tell anyone where I was going. My phone buzzes again. This time it's Emma calling. My heart clenches, but I know I have to answer. "Daddy. Mommy says you stole Charlie. She says you're a bad person who steals things that don't belong to him." I close my eyes and grip the steering wheel tighter. The war has officially begun. "Emma, sweetheart, Charlie isn't stolen. He's safe with Grandma and Grandpa. They have that big yard you love, remember? With the tire swing. But why didn't you tell me?" Her voice is small and confused, and it cuts right through me. I wanted to say goodbye. I always say goodbye to Charlie when he goes places. I can hear Sarah in the background, her voice sharp and carrying. "Tell him if he doesn't bring Charlie back tonight, we're going to court tomorrow. Tell him he's being selfish." "Mommy wants to talk to you," Emma whispers. "No, baby, stay on the line with me. I want to talk to you." I watch my dad toss a tennis ball across the yard, Charlie bounding after it like he's found paradise. "Remember how upset you get when Mommy says Charlie can't come to my house? How that makes you feel sad?" "Yeah, but..." "Emma, give me the phone. Now." Sarah's voice is closer now. "I have to go, Daddy. Mommy's really mad. She's making that face." The line goes dead. I lean back against the headrest and try to breathe. This is exactly what Sarah does. She makes me the villain in Emma's story while positioning herself as the wounded party. By tomorrow, Emma will have heard a dozen different versions of why Daddy is cruel and selfish, why Daddy doesn't care about her feelings, why Daddy breaks promises. My phone rings immediately. Sarah, of course. "You son of a bitch," she starts without preamble. "You have traumatized our daughter. She's asking me if you're going to take her away too since you take things that don't belong to you." "Charlie belongs to both of us, Sarah. That was the agreement. The agreement was that we share custody, not that you get to kidnap him whenever you throw a tantrum. Like you've been sharing custody." "When exactly was the last time Charlie came to my place?" 3 months ago. 4. "That's because Emma felt more comfortable. Emma felt more comfortable, or you decided Emma felt more comfortable." I'm getting out of the car now, pacing behind it. Charlie looks up from his tennis ball, tail wagging. At least someone's happy with this situation. "Sarah, I'm tired. I'm tired of playing games where you change the rules whenever you want something. This isn't a game, you psychopath. This is our daughter's emotional well-being. She's upstairs right now making missing dog posters because she thinks Charlie is lost somewhere." That hits me like a punch to the gut. I picture Emma with her markers and construction paper, carefully drawing Charlie's golden fur, writing "lost dog" in her crooked 8-year-old handwriting. Then tell her the truth. Tell her Charlie is safe and happy and... The truth? The truth is her father is having a breakdown and taking it out on everyone around him. The truth is I'm filing an emergency motion first thing Monday morning for theft of marital property and violation of our custody agreement. Go ahead. Let's let a judge decide who's been violating custody agreements. There's a pause. When Sarah speaks again, her voice has dropped to that icy tone I remember from our worst fights. "You think you're so smart, don't you? You have no idea what you've just started. By the time I'm done, you'll be lucky to have supervised visitation." "Is that a threat?" "It's a promise. Bring Charlie back tonight, or I destroy you in court. Emma will know exactly who her father really is." She hangs up. I stare at my phone, then at Charlie rolling around in the Ohio grass, and realize I might have just made the biggest mistake of my life. My mom appears on the porch with 2 cups of coffee, and I can tell from her expression that she heard at least half of that phone conversation. She's doing that thing where she presses her lips together, the same look she gave me when I was 16 and came home 3 hours past curfew. How bad is it, honey? She hands me the coffee and we both watch Charlie discover their garden gnome collection. Scale of 1 to 10. About a 15. I take a sip and burn my tongue. Sarah's filing emergency motions Monday morning. She's telling Emma I'm having a breakdown. And I'm pretty sure I just nuked any chance of reasonable co-parenting for the rest of Emma's childhood. Maybe that's not such a bad thing, Mom says quietly. Your father and I have been watching this for 2 years now. The way she uses that little girl as a messenger, the way she cancels your time whenever she's upset about something. But what if she's right? What if I am having a breakdown? What kind of father drives 8 hours with his ex-wife's dog without telling his daughter? The kind who's trying to protect his daughter from learning that love is something you withhold when you don't get your way. My phone buzzes with a text from my brother Mike. Mom told me what's happening. Sarah just called Aunt Linda asking for our address. She's driving there tonight. I show Mom the message. Her face goes pale. Tonight? It's already past 8. She'd be driving with Emma in the dark for 8 hours. That's Sarah. Everything has to be immediate, dramatic, crisis level. But even as I say it, something cold settles in my stomach. Sarah making that drive tonight, with Emma, while she's this angry. It feels dangerous in a way I can't articulate. Another text from Mike, gets worse. She's posting on Facebook about you stealing Charlie. Says she's worried about Emma's safety now because of your erratic behavior. Screenshot attached. I open the screenshot and feel the world tilt sideways. Sarah's post has been up for an hour and already has 47 comments. She's painted a picture of an unstable ex-husband who broke into her house and kidnapped their family dog while their daughter was at school. The comments are exactly what you'd expect, a chorus of her friends and family calling me everything from unhinged to dangerous. But it's the last line of her post that makes my blood run cold. Please pray for Emma's safety. I don't know what he's capable of anymore. Mom, I need to call my lawyer. Now. She's already heading inside. I'll get his number from your father. While she's gone, another call comes in. Emma again. Daddy. Mommy says we're going on a car trip tonight to come get you and Charlie. She says you might be sick and need help. Emma, where are you right now? Packing my overnight bag. Mommy says we might need to stay in a hotel. She sounds excited, like this is an adventure instead of whatever nightmare Sarah is orchestrating. She says you're at Grandma and Grandpa's house but you forgot to ask permission. Sweetheart, can you put Mommy on the phone? She's outside loading the car. Daddy, are you really sick? Tommy Morrison's dad was sick and he had to go away for a while to get better. Christ. Sarah's already planting seeds that I'm mentally unstable, preparing Emma for the possibility that Daddy might need to go away. I'm not sick, baby. I'm perfectly fine. But it's very late for a long car trip. Maybe you and Mommy should wait until tomorrow. She says we can't wait. She says every minute matters. Every minute matters. Like this is a rescue mission. Like I'm holding Charlie hostage instead of letting him run around my parents' yard. Emma, I love you so much, okay? Remember that no matter what happens tonight. I love you too, Daddy. Mommy's calling me. She says it's time to go. The line goes dead, and I realize Sarah has just escalated this beyond anything I imagined. She's not just filing court papers, she's creating a public narrative where I'm the dangerous one, and she's the protective mother rushing to save both our daughter and our dog from my instability. My hands are shaking as I dial my lawyer's emergency number. The lawyer's voicemail picks up after 6 rings. Of course. It's Friday night, and normal people aren't dealing with their ex-wives driving across state lines with kidnapping allegations and social media character assassination campaigns. Jim, it's David Chin. Sarah's lost her mind and I need help. She's driving to Ohio tonight with Emma, telling everyone I stole our dog, and posting on Facebook that I'm dangerous. Call me back as soon as you get this. I hang up and immediately dial again, hoping he'll pick up if he sees multiple calls. Nothing. Mom comes back with Dad trailing behind her, both looking like they're preparing for a siege. Your father thinks we should call the police, she says. And tell them what? That my ex-wife is driving here to pick up her dog. I run my hands through my hair. She's not breaking any laws, Mom. Crazy isn't illegal. What about what she's posting online? Dad pulls out his phone. Linda forwarded me the screenshots. She's accusing you of breaking and entering, theft, erratic behavior. That's defamation. It's her word against mine, and she's got 8 hours in the car with Emma to craft whatever story she wants. I watch Charlie nose around their rose bushes, completely oblivious to the chaos he's caused. By the time they get here, Emma will be convinced I'm either mentally ill or a criminal. My phone rings. Unknown number with Sarah's area code. David? This is Patricia Morrison, Emma's friend's mom. I got your number from the school directory. Tommy's mom. The one whose husband was sick. I hope you don't mind me calling, but Sarah posted in our class parent group asking if anyone had seen unusual behavior from you recently. She's asking parents to be on alert when Emma comes back to school. The coffee turns to acid in my stomach. She what? She said there was an incident involving your shared pet, and she's concerned about Emma's safety during your custody time. David, I don't know you well, but Sarah's making some pretty serious implications about your mental state. Patricia, I picked up our dog from Sarah's house today with my key, which I'm legally allowed to use. That's it. No breaking and entering, no theft, no mental breakdown. Look, I'm calling because this feels off to me. Sarah's been intense at school events lately. Always talking about how difficult you make co-parenting, how you try to manipulate Emma against her. But Emma talks about you constantly, daddy this, daddy that. She clearly adores you. A small relief, but it doesn't fix the bigger problem. What exactly did Sarah ask the parents to do? Document any concerning interactions with you. Take photos if they see you acting strange around school. Call her immediately if Emma seems upset after your custody time. Patricia pauses. David, she's building a case against you. Whatever this fight is about, she's not planning to let it go. After we hang up, I sit on my parents' porch steps feeling like I'm drowning. Charlie trots over and drops his tennis ball at my feet, tail wagging expectantly. Such a simple request: throw the ball, chase the ball, bring back the ball. No custody agreements, no social media warfare, no 8-year-old caught in the middle. What have I done to you, buddy? I scratch behind his ears. Dad sits down beside me. You know, when your mother and I were having problems with the Hendersons over that property line dispute, my lawyer told me something. When someone escalates this fast, this dramatically, they're usually hiding something bigger. What do you mean? Think about it. You took the dog to stop her manipulation. Annoying, sure, but not exactly nuclear warfare material. So why is Sarah acting like you've committed a felony? Before I can answer, my phone buzzes with another text from Mike. Sarah just posted an update. Says she's worried about Emma's safety because you're not responding rationally to her attempts to resolve this peacefully. She's asking for prayers and legal advice. This is getting ugly fast. I stare at the message, and suddenly Dad's words click into place. Sarah isn't just angry about Charlie. She's terrified about something else entirely. The realization hits me like a sledgehammer. Sarah isn't just manipulating this situation, she's covering for something. But what? I'm still processing when my phone rings. My lawyer, finally. Jim, thank God. Sarah's driving here tonight with Emma, posting that I'm dangerous, and turning the parent group into her personal surveillance network. David, slow down. I got your message. First thing, document everything. Screenshots, timestamps, witness statements. Second thing, do not, under any circumstances, engage with her tonight when she arrives. What do you mean, don't engage? She's bringing my daughter on an 8-hour car ride to create some kind of dramatic confrontation. Exactly. She wants you to lose your temper, say something she can record, do something that validates her social media narrative. The best thing you can do is stay calm, stay quiet, and let her dig her own hole. Through the window, I see Mom pacing around the kitchen, stress cleaning everything in sight. Dad's on his laptop, probably reading Sarah's Facebook posts. Jim, there's something else. A parent just called saying Sarah's been talking about my difficult behavior for months at school events. And my dad thinks she's hiding something bigger, that this reaction is too extreme for just being mad about the dog. Long pause. Your dad might be onto something. In my experience, when someone launches a character assassination campaign this quickly, they're trying to discredit you before you find out something damaging about them. Like what? Could be anything. Financial issues, new relationship she hasn't disclosed, planning to move with Emma, substance problems. The question is, what's she afraid you'll discover? I think about the past few months. Sarah's increased hostility, the constant demands for modified custody schedules, her insistence on controlling everything about Emma's life. And now this nuclear response to losing her manipulation tool. She's been pushing for more child support, I tell Jim. Claiming her expenses have gone up. And she's been weird about Emma's after-school care, insisting on specific babysitters, getting angry when I ask questions. Start digging. Financial records, social media activity, anything that might explain why she's so desperate to maintain control. After hanging up, I find Dad at his computer, scrolling through what looks like Sarah's Facebook history. Find anything interesting? Maybe. He turns the screen toward me. Look at her posts from the last 3 months. Notice anything? I scan through them. Vacation photos from places that don't look cheap. New furniture. Emma in expensive clothes I didn't buy. And lots of photos with a man I don't recognize, always tagged as friend, but appearing in increasingly couple-like situations. Who's the guy? Marcus Webb. According to his profile, he's recently divorced, works in finance, has 2 kids of his own. Dad clicks through to Marcus's page. And look at this, he posted about blended family challenges 2 weeks ago. My blood chills. She's planning to blend our family with his. Gets better. He lives in Portland. Posted about exciting opportunities and new beginnings last month. Portland. 3,000 miles from here. From me. She's planning to move. The pieces click together. That's why she needs more child support, to fund the relocation. That's why she's been controlling Emma's schedule, transitioning her away from our routine. And that's why she lost her mind about Charlie. She was planning to take him too, but now she can't use him as leverage for the move. Dad nods grimly. And now that you've disrupted her plan, she needs to make you look unfit so she can justify taking Emma across the country. My phone buzzes. Text from Sarah, 2 hours out. I hope you're prepared for the consequences of your actions. But for the first time tonight, I'm not afraid. I'm angry. She's been planning to steal my daughter, move her across the country, and manipulate the situation so I look like the bad guy for fighting it. Mom. I call toward the kitchen. We need to set up the video camera. When Sarah gets here, I want everything recorded. If she wants to play games, she just picked the wrong opponent. The next hour passes in tense preparation. Dad helps me set up his security cameras to cover the front yard and porch, while Mom stress bakes enough cookies to feed a small army. I screenshot every single one of Sarah's Facebook posts, document the timeline of her relationship with Marcus, and save the evidence to 3 different cloud accounts. At 9:47 p.m., headlights sweep across the living room windows. They're here, Mom whispers, peering through the curtains. Oh honey, Emma looks exhausted. Through the window, I watch Sarah park aggressively close to Dad's car, her door slamming loud enough to echo off the neighbors' houses. Emma slides out of the passenger seat, clutching her stuffed elephant and looking around nervously. Even from here, I can see the confusion and worry on her face. Charlie starts barking excitedly, recognizing the car. I grab his collar before he can bolt toward the door. Remember, Dad says quietly, let her make the first move. Stay calm. Sarah marches up the walkway like she's leading a military assault, Emma trailing reluctantly behind. The knock is aggressive, more like pounding. I open the door to find Sarah's face twisted with righteous fury. Emma peeks around her, eyes immediately finding Charlie. Daddy. Charlie. Emma starts forward, but Sarah's hand on her shoulder stops her. Emma, wait in the car, Sarah commands. But Mom, I want to see Charlie and Daddy. Car. Now. Sarah, she just spent 8 hours in that car, I say evenly. Let her come inside, see the dog, use the bathroom. Absolutely not. Not until you return what you stole. Emma's eyes dart between us, and I can see her trying to understand why Mommy is using her angry voice with Daddy, why we're standing in the doorway instead of having a normal conversation. I didn't steal anything. Charlie is as much mine as yours, and I used my own key to my own house to pick him up. That's not your house anymore. Sarah's voice rises to a near shout. You can't just waltz in whenever you feel like it and take whatever you want. Mommy, why are you yelling? Emma's voice is small, scared. Behind me, I hear Dad's computer chime with a notification. He appears in the doorway, phone in hand. David, he says carefully, you should see this. Not now, Dad. Now, he insists, showing me the screen. It's a Facebook live stream. Sarah's Facebook live stream. She's been broadcasting our entire conversation to her friends list. The red recording dot glows in the corner of her phone screen, which she's holding at an angle that shows me in the doorway but keeps her mostly off camera. The comments are already rolling in. Stay safe, Sarah. Call the police. Document everything. You're live streaming this. I can't keep the disbelief out of my voice. I want witnesses to your erratic behavior. Mom, what's live streaming? Emma asks, but Sarah ignores her. This is insane, Sarah. Turn off the camera and let's talk like adults. I am documenting your refusal to cooperate, your theft of our pet, and your attempts to intimidate me. Mom appears beside Dad, takes one look at the situation, and does something I don't expect. She walks right past me to Emma. Sweetheart, you look tired. Would you like some hot chocolate while the grown-ups talk? Emma nods eagerly, but Sarah blocks her path. Emma stays with me. Sarah, Mom's voice carries 40 years of teaching authority. That child has been in a car for 8 hours because you decided to drive here in the middle of the night. She needs food, bathroom, and rest. This isn't about her. Everything is about her. He took our dog to hurt her. I took the dog to stop you from using him as a weapon, I say quietly. Which is exactly what you're doing right now. The live stream comments are getting more heated. Someone suggests calling CPS. Another recommends a restraining order. That's when Emma starts crying. Mommy, I want to see Charlie, Emma sobs, reaching toward the door where Charlie is whimpering and pawing at the screen. Why can't I see Charlie? Because your father is being selfish, Sarah says, but her voice wavers as she realizes how this looks, a crying child begging to see her dog while being held back by her mother. On live stream. To an audience of her friends. Sarah, you're making this worse, I say, stepping aside to give Emma a clear path. Come here, sweetheart. Emma moves toward me, but Sarah grabs her arm. No. We're leaving. And we're taking the dog. Actually, you're not. Dad steps fully into view, holding his phone. Because I've been recording too. And I've already called the police about someone trespassing and demanding property that doesn't belong to them. Sarah's face goes white. You can't call the police on me. I'm Emma's mother. You're also someone who just drove 8 hours to bang on my door at 10 p.m., demanding I hand over a dog that's legally mine, while live streaming the confrontation and using our daughter as a prop. Dad's voice is deadly calm. How exactly do you think this looks to your Facebook friends? For the first time, Sarah glances at her phone screen. The comments have shifted. Someone's asking why she won't let Emma see her dad. Another person points out that she seems to care more about the dog than her tired daughter. A few are asking if she's okay, if this behavior is normal for her. Turn off the stream, Sarah, I say quietly. Before you make this worse. Don't tell me what to do. But her finger hovers over the phone screen. That's when Emma breaks free and runs to me, wrapping her arms around my waist. Daddy, I missed you. Where's Charlie? Why is everyone mad? Charlie pushes through the screen door, tail wagging frantically as he jumps on Emma. For a moment, there's pure joy on my daughter's face as she hugs the dog she's been worried about all week. See? Sarah's voice cracks. She needs him. You can't just take him away from her. I'm not taking him from her. I'm taking him from you. I kneel down to Emma's level. Hey kiddo, Charlie's been staying with Grandma and Grandpa. He's been having fun, but he missed you too. Is he staying here forever? Emma asks, and I can hear the hope in her voice. Before I can answer, Sarah cuts in. No, he's coming home with us. Right now. Sarah. Mom's voice is sharp. Look at your daughter. Really look at her. Emma is exhausted, overwhelmed, and now caught in the middle of another adult fight. She's holding Charlie like a lifeline, tears still streaking her cheeks. This is what you drove 8 hours for. Mom continues. To traumatize your child on a school night. To have a screaming match on camera. I'm protecting her interests. You're protecting your interests, Dad interrupts. And badly. Because everyone watching your little live stream can see that. Sarah finally looks at her phone screen. The comments are no longer supportive. People are asking pointed questions about her priorities, about why she's keeping Emma outside in the cold, about whether driving through the night with a child was really necessary. I want to go inside, Emma says quietly. I'm cold and I need to pee. Sarah stares at her phone for a long moment. The viewer count is climbing, apparently someone's sharing the stream. This is spreading beyond her friend group. Turn it off, I say again. Now. Before Emma ends up on the internet forever. Sarah's thumb hovers over the screen as red and blue lights suddenly sweep across the yard. The police have arrived. The patrol car's headlights cut through the darkness as two officers step out. Sarah's live stream suddenly becomes a lot more interesting to her viewers. The comment count is exploding. Someone called about a disturbance. The first officer, a woman in her 40s, approaches slowly, taking in the scene, Sarah with her phone still recording, Emma clinging to me and Charlie on the front steps, my parents flanking us like bodyguards. There's no disturbance, Sarah says quickly, finally ending the live stream. This is a family matter. Ma'am, we received a call about someone demanding property and refusing to leave the premises, the second officer says, consulting his notepad. Can you tell us what's going on here? Dad steps forward with his phone. I made the call. My ex-daughter-in-law drove here from 8 hours away, demanding we turn over a dog that legally belongs to my son. When we declined, she became aggressive and started live streaming the confrontation. That's not, Sarah starts, but the female officer holds up a hand. Let's take this one at a time. Ma'am, what's your relationship to the residents here? This is my daughter, Sarah gestures to Emma, and that's her father. They took our dog without permission and I came to get him back. Our dog, I correct. Joint ownership, and I picked him up from my former residence using my own key. Emma tugs on my shirt. Daddy, are the police here because of Charlie? My heart breaks at the confusion in her voice. She's 8 years old, standing in the cold at 10 p.m., watching police officers question her parents about her beloved dog while strangers on the internet judge her family. No, sweetheart, I kneel down to her level. Sometimes grown-ups need help talking through problems. The male officer crouches down too. Hey there. What's your name? Emma. This is Charlie. She scratches behind the dog's ears. He's the best dog ever. I bet he is. Are you okay? You look pretty tired. Emma nods but leans against me. We drove a really long time. Mommy was crying in the car and talking on the phone a lot. Sarah's face flushes. Emma, you don't need to. Ma'am, please let her answer, the female officer says firmly. Emma, who were you with during this long drive? Just Mommy. She said we had to come get Charlie right away because Daddy was being mean. But Daddy doesn't look mean. The officers exchange glances. Ma'am, the female officer addresses Sarah, did you drive 8 hours through the night with this child? I had to. He stole our dog. He's trying to hurt Emma by taking away something she loves. But I'm not hurt, Emma says, confused. Charlie's right here. And I get to see Daddy and Grandma and Grandpa. Mom steps forward. Officers, this child needs to come inside. She's exhausted, cold, and hungry. Whatever the adults need to work out, surely it can wait until she's cared for. Absolutely, the female officer agrees. Ma'am, she looks at Sarah, regardless of the property dispute, your daughter's welfare comes first. She needs food and rest. I'm not leaving her here, Sarah says quickly. No one's asking you to leave her, I say. Come inside. We'll figure this out like rational adults. I want to go inside too, Emma says. Please, Mommy. Charlie wants to show me Grandma's house. Sarah looks torn, glancing between the officers, her daughter, and me. This isn't over, she says quietly. It doesn't have to be a war either, I reply. The female officer nods toward the house. Let's all step inside and sort this out properly. And ma'am? No more recording until we've talked. As we move toward the door, I notice Sarah checking her phone one more time. The damage from the live stream is already spreading, and somehow I don't think that's going to make any of this easier. Once we're inside, the house feels too small for all the tension. Emma immediately beelines for the living room with Charlie, both of them collapsing onto Mom's couch like they've been separated for months instead of a week. The simple joy on my daughter's face makes everything else feel surreal, the police officers taking notes in my parents' kitchen, Sarah pacing by the window, checking her phone obsessively. So let me understand the situation, the female officer, Officer Martinez according to her badge, sits at the kitchen table with a notepad. You two share custody of both the child and the dog? Joint custody of Emma, yes. The dog. I pull out my phone to show the documentation I've kept. Joint ownership technically, but I've been handling all the vet bills, registration, licensing. Charlie's microchipped in my name. Sarah whips around from the window. That doesn't mean anything. I bought his food, walked him every day, took care of him when he was sick that time. The time you called me crying at 2 a.m. because you didn't know what to do and I had to drive over to take him to the emergency vet. I ask. That's not, you're twisting it. Sarah's scrolling through her phone again, and I can see the problem. Her live stream might be over, but the screenshots and recordings have taken on a life of their own. Officer Martinez clears her throat. The property dispute aside, I'm more concerned about the child's welfare. Ma'am, you drove through the night with an 8-year-old because of a dog. Because he's manipulating her, Sarah insists. He knew taking Charlie would hurt Emma, and he did it anyway to get back at me. Is that true? Officer Martinez looks at me. Before I can answer, Emma's voice carries from the living room, Charlie, you're getting so big. Grandma, has he been eating all his food? Every bit, Mom calls back. He especially loves the new treats Grandpa bought him. Sarah's face crumples slightly at the sound of Emma's happiness, and for a second I see past her anger to the exhaustion underneath. The 8-hour drive, the public humiliation of that live stream, the growing realization that this might not be the victory she imagined. Look, I say quietly, nobody wins if this turns into a legal battle. Emma loves Charlie. I love Charlie. Even you love Charlie, Sarah, in your own way. Don't patronize me. Then stop using him as a weapon. The words hang in the air between us. Officer Martinez taps her pen. Has this kind of dispute happened before? Sarah and I exchange glances. How do you explain months of escalating manipulation to a stranger? The threats, the bargaining, the way every conversation about Emma somehow became about what I needed to give Sarah to keep the peace. There have been disagreements about boundaries, I say carefully. He's impossible to co-parent with, Sarah says at the same time. Officer Martinez's radio crackles, and she steps away to respond. In the brief quiet that follows, I can hear Emma giggling as Charlie apparently finds her tickler spot. That's when Sarah's phone buzzes with a call. She glances at the screen and her face goes white. Who is it? I ask. My mom. Sarah declines the call, but immediately another comes in. Then another. Shit. Someone tagged her in the live stream. Officer Martinez returns just as Sarah's phone starts buzzing with what looks like a string of text messages. Everything all right? Officer Martinez asks, noting Sarah's expression. My family's seen the video, Sarah whispers, finally understanding what I've been trying to warn her about. They're asking if I've lost my mind. The second officer, who's been quietly observing, speaks up, ma'am, that live stream is getting shared pretty widely. We've actually had 2 more calls about this address from people who recognized it. Sarah sinks into a chair, the weight of her choice is finally hitting her. Emma appears in the doorway, Charlie at her side. Mommy? Why do you look sad? Are you mad at Charlie? The silence stretches too long before Sarah answers Emma's question. My daughter's face starts to shift from curiosity to worry, and I watch Sarah realize that 8-year-old eyes are taking in every expression, every pause, every adult failure to protect her from this mess. I'm not mad at Charlie, baby, Sarah finally says, but her voice cracks. Mommy's just tired. Emma walks over and climbs onto Sarah's lap without hesitation, the way kids do when they sense their parents are drowning. Charlie follows, resting his head on Sarah's knee. For a moment, we're not warring ex-spouses, we're just Emma's parents, and she's trying to fix what the adults broke. That's when Sarah's phone buzzes again. And again. I need to take this, she whispers, looking at the screen. It's my lawyer. Officer Martinez raises an eyebrow. At 10:30 p.m. Emergency consultation, Sarah says, already answering. Jenny. Yes, I know it's late, but, her face goes from pale to gray. What do you mean viral? How viral? She puts the phone on speaker, and we can all hear the lawyer's exhausted voice. Sarah, I've had 6 people send me links to this video in the last hour. You're confronting police officers while live streaming a custody dispute. Do you understand how this looks? Emma perks up with innocent curiosity. We're famous. Not the good kind of famous, sweetheart, I murmur. Sarah's lawyer continues, the comments section is, not favorable. Someone's already identified your ex-husband's parents' address. There are people calling you everything from an unfit mother to suggesting this is some kind of performance art. Performance art? Sarah looks genuinely confused. Apparently the internet thinks no real person would drive 8 hours to live stream themselves demanding a dog back while traumatizing their child. Emma's face scrunches up. I'm not traumatized. I'm happy Charlie's here. Officer Martinez clears her throat. Ma'am, we're going to need you to end this call. We have more pressing issues. As Sarah hangs up, the front doorbell rings. Dad goes to answer it, and we hear muffled voices. He returns looking concerned. There's a news van outside, he announces. A what? I stand up so fast I knock over my chair. Local affiliate. They got wind of the story from social media. Officer Martinez immediately radios for backup. We need crowd control at this location. Media presence escalating a domestic custody situation. Sarah's phone starts ringing again, different number this time. She looks at it with growing horror. I don't recognize this number. Don't answer it, Officer Martinez warns, but it's too late. Sarah's already picked up. Hello. She immediately holds the phone away from her ear as a male voice starts shouting about her being a psycho mother and how people like her are ruining America. Emma's eyes go wide. Why is that man being mean to mommy? Officer Martinez takes Sarah's phone and hangs up. This situation is escalating beyond a simple property dispute. We need to discuss immediate safety measures for everyone involved, especially the child. Safety measures? I ask, dread pooling in my stomach. The live stream included clear shots of this house, the street signs, even the house number. Your daughter's face was visible throughout. Your parents' personal information is probably already being searched. Mom sinks into a chair. You mean strangers know where we live now? And they have very strong opinions about your family situation, the second officer confirms grimly. Charlie seems to sense the tension and moves closer to Emma, who upsetly scratches his ears while watching the adults with growing confusion. Daddy, she asks quietly. Are we in trouble because I wanted to see Charlie? Before I can answer, there's a knock at the door. Not the doorbell, a sharp, aggressive knock that makes everyone freeze. Officer Martinez signals for us to stay put and moves toward the front door with her partner. Sarah grabs Emma instinctively. What have we done? She whispers. Through the front window, I can see the flashing lights of at least 3 more police cars pulling up. What started as a simple custody dispute is spiraling into something that feels like a nightmare. Officer Martinez returns with a grim expression. That was another concerned citizen who decided to take justice into their own hands. We've got at least 15 people gathered outside now, and more arriving. 15 people. Sarah's voice is barely a whisper. What do they want? Based on the shouting, about half think you're an abusive mother who should lose custody, and the other half think your ex-husband is a monster for stealing a dog from a little girl. The news crew is interviewing them. Emma looks between us with growing alarm. Why are there so many people outside Grandma and Grandpa's house? Before anyone can answer, Sarah's phone starts buzzing again. Then mine does too. Then Dad's landline starts ringing. Don't answer any of those, Officer Martinez warns. We're dealing with what appears to be coordinated harassment now. Mom peeks through the curtains and immediately steps back. There's someone with a camera trying to look in our windows. That's it, Officer Martinez's partner says into his radio. We need additional units for crowd dispersal and media management. We've got minors on the premises who need protection. Sarah suddenly bolts upright. Oh God. Emma's school. If people are identifying us online. What about my school? Emma asks, and I can hear the fear creeping into her voice. Nothing, baby, I say quickly, but Sarah's panic is contagious. They'll find out where she goes to school, Sarah continues, spiraling. Her teacher, her friends' parents, everyone will see this. They'll think I'm. Sarah, breathe. I move toward her, but she flinches away. Don't. This is your fault. If you hadn't taken Charlie. If you hadn't live-streamed it. Stop. Emma's voice cuts through our argument with surprising force. Stop fighting. Charlie doesn't like it when you fight. She's right. Charlie has moved to the corner, tail between his legs, clearly distressed by the raised voices and tension. The irony isn't lost on me, we've traumatized the dog we're supposedly fighting over. Officer Martinez's radio crackles again. We've got news crews from 3 different stations now. Someone's brought a bullhorn. This is becoming a public safety issue. A bullhorn? Dad looks incredulous. What are they, protesting? Apparently there's some debate about whether this constitutes animal abuse, child abuse, or both. Social media has opinions. Sarah's lawyer calls back. This time Sarah doesn't put it on speaker, but we can hear Jenny's voice raised in what sounds like panic. After a few minutes of increasingly frantic conversation, Sarah hangs up. She says I need to get Emma and get out of here immediately. The video has been shared by several parenting blogs and a viral TikTok account. Someone started a hashtag. What hashtag? I ask, though I'm not sure I want to know. Hashtag justice for Charlie, Sarah whispers. And hashtag protect Emma. They're fighting about which one of us is the bad parent. Emma, who's been listening to everything with the sharp attention kids have when adults think they're not paying attention, suddenly speaks up, can we just go home now? All of us. With Charlie. The simple innocence of her question, the assumption that there should be a solution where everyone she loves can just be together, hits like a punch to the gut. That's when the power goes out. In the sudden darkness, illuminated only by the flashing police lights outside, Emma starts to cry. The darkness is complete for maybe 3 seconds before flashlight beams start cutting through the living room. Officer Martinez immediately radios for status updates while Emma's crying escalates into full panic. The transformer blue, Dad calls out, checking his phone's flashlight app. Probably overloaded from all the news equipment. Or someone cut the line, Officer Martinez's partner says grimly. We've got reports of increasingly aggressive behavior from the crowd. Sarah pulls Emma closer, and for once I don't feel the usual spike of territorial jealousy. In the dark, with strangers shouting outside and my daughter terrified, all that matters is keeping her safe. Daddy, I can't see Charlie. Emma sobs. I use my phone's light to scan the room until I find him still cowering in the corner. He's right here, sweetheart. He's okay. Mom appears with an armload of battery-powered lanterns from their emergency kit. As warm light fills the room, I can see Emma's tear-streaked face and Sarah's barely contained panic. This is escalating beyond our capacity, Officer Martinez announces. We're calling in additional support and recommending immediate relocation for all family members. Relocation? Sarah's voice cracks. You mean we can't stay here? Ma'am, your live stream showed clear identifying information. We've now got approximately 30 people outside, multiple news crews, and someone just threw a rock at the patrol car. A rock. Jesus Christ. Emma stops crying long enough to ask, what's relocation? It means we might need to stay somewhere else tonight, I explain, trying to keep my voice calm. Like a hotel. But what about Charlie? Before anyone can answer, there's a loud crash from outside, followed by shouting and what sounds like a fight breaking out. That's it, Officer Martinez declares. We're evacuating everyone now. Back exit, minimal belongings. Wait, Sarah stands up, Emma still clinging to her. My car is out front. How are we supposed to? You're not driving anywhere tonight. We'll transport you to separate locations until this dies down. Separate locations. I step forward. You want to split us up? It's the safest option. The crowd seems focused on the conflict between you two. Keeping you apart removes the spectacle. Emma's voice is small and scared, but what about Charlie? Everyone looks at the dog, who's now pressed against the wall like he's trying to disappear into it. The animal that started this whole mess has become the least important consideration. Sarah's phone buzzes again. She glances at it and goes pale. Someone found my apartment address. There are people there too. And they probably know where I live by now, I realize with growing horror. Our custody arrangement is public record. If they have Emma's school information. Officer Martinez is already coordinating with dispatch. We need safe houses for multiple family members involved in a viral domestic dispute. Child welfare considerations, possible ongoing harassment campaign. Safe houses? Mom asks faintly. Like witness protection. More like temporary relocation until the internet finds something else to be outraged about, the second officer explains. Usually takes 48 to 72 hours. Sarah starts laughing, but it's the kind of laugh that's dangerously close to hysteria. 72 hours. We've managed to destroy our lives in under 6 hours, and it'll take 3 days to fix. If we're lucky, Officer Martinez mutters. Emma tugs on my shirt. Daddy, I don't want to go to a safe house. I want to stay with Charlie and Grandma and Grandpa. Another crash outside, followed by someone shouting through what must be that bullhorn, child services should investigate both parents. Emma flinches at the volume, and Charlie starts whimpering. That's it, I say, scooping Emma up. We're leaving. Now. Sarah grabs Charlie's leash with shaking hands. Where exactly are we supposed to go that they won't find us? Officer Martinez checks her radio one more time before answering, honestly. I have no idea. The evacuation doesn't go as planned. We're supposed to leave through the back door, but as Officer Martinez opens it, his flashlight illuminates 3 people with phones already positioned in my parents' backyard, apparently having anticipated this exact move. Plan B, he mutters, immediately closing the door and radioing for backup. How are there people in the backyard? Dad demands. That's private property. Welcome to viral fame, Sarah says bitterly. Privacy is a casualty. Emma's grip on my neck tightens. Why won't they leave us alone? Before I can answer, someone starts pounding on the front door with what sounds like a fist. Then multiple fists. The shouting outside has gotten louder, more aggressive. Open up. We know you're in there. Child abuser. Dog thief. Officer Martinez's partner tries to disperse the crowd through the front window, but his warnings only seem to energize them more. This is private property. You need to disperse immediately. We have First Amendment rights, someone shouts back. Sarah's phone hasn't stopped buzzing. She finally looks at it and immediately goes white. Oh no. Oh no no no. What now? I ask, though I'm not sure I want to know. Someone posted my work address. And Emma's school. And your office. Her voice is barely audible. They're calling for people to make their voices heard at all these locations. My blood runs cold. My office? There are other families there. Kids in the daycare downstairs. This has to be illegal, Mom says frantically. They can't just post people's personal information like that. It's called doxing, and it happens faster than we can stop it, Officer Martinez explains while coordinating evacuation routes on his radio. We've got units dispatched to all the locations, but... His radio crackles with an update that makes everyone freeze. We've got additional crowds forming at the workplace addresses. Requesting backup at multiple locations. Emma starts crying again. I don't understand why everyone is so angry about Charlie. That's when Sarah's phone rings with a call that makes her face crumble. It's Emma's principal. She answers with shaking hands, putting it on speaker. Principal Williams' familiar voice fills the quiet room. Sarah, I need to inform you that we've had to contact security. There are protesters in our parking lot demanding that Emma be removed from our school pending investigation into her home situation. Protesters at my school. Emma's voice is tiny and confused. I'm so sorry, Emma, Principal Williams continues gently. But for everyone's safety, we're recommending that you stay home for the rest of the week while this situation resolves itself. Emma looks between Sarah and me with growing understanding. I can't go to school because of Charlie. It's temporary, sweetheart, Sarah says, but her voice breaks on the words. My phone starts ringing. Work. I answer reluctantly. Mark, what the hell is going on? My boss Tom's voice is strained. We've got people with signs outside calling you an animal abuser. HR is having a meltdown. Tom, I can explain. Explain from home. Take the rest of the week off. Maybe longer. We can't have this circus affecting our other clients. He hangs up before I can respond. Sarah and I stare at each other. In less than 8 hours, we've both effectively lost our jobs, Emma can't go to school, and we're trapped in my parents' house while strangers demand justice for a dog who's currently hiding under their coffee table. Daddy, Emma whispers, are we in trouble with the police? No, baby. The police are trying to help us. Then why does everyone think we're bad people? I don't have an answer for that. Neither does Sarah. Outside, someone starts chanting, justice for Charlie. Justice for Emma. The irony is suffocating. They think they're protecting my daughter while terrifying her. Officer Martinez gets another radio update and his expression darkens further. What now? I ask. Child Protective Services just got about 200 calls demanding an investigation. The words, Child Protective Services, hit the room like a physical blow. Emma doesn't fully understand what it means, but she picks up on the adults' reactions and starts crying harder. 200 calls. Sarah's voice is barely a whisper. About what exactly? Allegations of emotional abuse, neglect, using the child as a pawn in custody disputes, Officer Martinez reads from his notes. And thanks to that live stream, they have what people are calling evidence of the child being traumatized. Evidence. I feel like I'm drowning. She was upset because strangers were screaming outside. That's not how the callers see it. They're saying they witnessed a minor in distress due to parental conflict. Sarah sits down heavily, still holding Emma. How long before they show up? They're required to investigate within 24 hours of a report. With this volume of calls. He doesn't finish the sentence. Emma looks up at Sarah with red, puffy eyes. What's Child Protective Services? They're people who make sure kids are safe and happy, Sarah explains carefully. But I am safe and happy. Emma protests. I just want everyone to stop yelling. As if summoned by her words, the crowd outside launches into another round of chanting. Someone has apparently brought speakers because the volume has tripled. Save Emma. Save Charlie. Charlie whimpers and crawls completely under the coffee table. Emma tries to reach for him but can't quite get there from Sarah's lap. My phone buzzes with a text from my sister, just saw the news. Mom called me crying. What the hell happened? They're showing your photo on Channel 7. Channel 7. I look at Officer Martinez. Local news. It went national about an hour ago. Custody battle turns ugly, father steals family dog to hurt ex-wife. He pauses. That's CNN's headline. CNN. Mom looks like she might faint. My neighbors are probably watching this right now. Dad peers through the curtain again. There are definitely more people now. And I can see news trucks. How many news trucks? Officer Martinez asks. For that I can count. Sarah's phone rings again. This time it's a number she doesn't recognize, but she answers anyway out of what seems like morbid curiosity. Is this Sarah Chen, the mother from the viral custody video? An unfamiliar voice asks loudly enough for us all to hear. Who is this? Rebecca Martinez from Good Morning America. We'd love to have you on tomorrow's show to tell your side of the story. We can offer compensation for an exclusive. Sarah hangs up immediately, but the phone starts ringing again within seconds. Don't answer, Officer Martinez advises. Media attention will only make this worse. Worse? I laugh, but there's no humor in it. How could this possibly get worse? That's when Emma asks the question that breaks everyone's heart. Mommy, Daddy, are they going to take me away because you thought about Charlie? The silence that follows is deafening. Sarah and I look at each other across the room, and for the first time since this whole nightmare began, I see the same terrified realization in her eyes that I'm feeling. This isn't about Charlie anymore. It was never really about Charlie. It's about how our inability to communicate, our willingness to use anything, including our daughter's beloved pet, as ammunition against each other, has finally blown up in the most public, destructive way possible. And now Emma is asking if she's going to be taken away because of our failures. Officer Martinez's radio crackles again. We've got a child services supervisor en route to your location. ETA 15 minutes. Emma doesn't understand what that means, but she knows it's not good. I just want to go home, she whispers. But none of us have homes to go back to anymore. The child services supervisor, Ms. Rodriguez, arrives exactly when Officer Martinez predicted. She's a woman in her 50s with kind eyes and the demeanor of someone who's seen everything twice. Unlike everyone else today, she doesn't seem fazed by the circus outside. I'm going to need to speak with Emma privately, she says gently. It's standard procedure. Sarah's grip on Emma tightens instinctively. She's been through enough today. I understand. But right now, I need to hear from Emma herself that she feels safe. As Ms. Rodriguez talks quietly with Emma in the kitchen, Sarah and I sit in the living room avoiding each other's eyes. The protesters outside have finally started to disperse. Apparently even righteous anger gets tired after 6 hours. You know what the really sick part is? Sarah says suddenly. I was going to suggest joint custody of Charlie next week. I was tired of using him as whatever this was. I look at her sharply. What? Emma kept asking why Charlie couldn't just stay wherever she was staying. It made sense. I was going to bring it up when we talked about the summer schedule. The weight of that confession sits between us like a stone. Ms. Rodriguez emerges from the kitchen with Emma, who's actually smiling for the first time all day. Emma's told me quite a bit about Charlie, she says warmly. And about how much she loves both her parents, even when they make mistakes. Mistakes, I repeat. Emma also told me she thinks Charlie would be very happy living with her grandparents, who have a big yard and another dog to play with. She said Charlie always loved visiting there. Emma nods seriously. Charlie gets scared when people fight. Grandma's house is quiet. Sarah starts crying, not the angry tears from this morning, but something deeper. Emma, baby, I'm so sorry about all of this. It's okay, Mommy. But can we please not fight about Charlie anymore? He doesn't understand fighting. Ms. Rodriguez closes her notebook. Based on my conversation with Emma and my observations, I don't see any immediate safety concerns. However, I am going to recommend family counseling for all 3 of you. All 3? I ask. Emma's 8 years old and she just spent the day watching adults scream about her parents on the internet. She needs someone to talk to who isn't emotionally invested in your custody arrangements. She's right, of course. 3 weeks later, Sarah and I sit in Dr. Patterson's office with Emma between us on the couch. It's the 4th session, and the first one where nobody cried. Charlie's really happy at Grandma's, Emma reports. He sent me a picture. She shows us her tablet with a photo from Mom, Charlie and their golden retriever buddy sleeping in a pile of autumn leaves. How do you feel about that? Dr. Patterson asks. I miss him, but he looks happy. And Daddy and Mommy don't fight about him anymore. Sarah and I have been working on communication. Actual communication, not the weaponized versions we perfected over 2 years of bitter co-parenting. It turns out we both want the same things, for Emma to feel secure, for transitions between houses to be peaceful, for holidays to be manageable. The internet people think you stole Charlie, Emma tells me matter-of-factly. But I know you just wanted the fighting to stop. Was I right to do it that way? I ask her. Emma considers this seriously. Maybe next time you could try talking first. But Charlie really does like Grandma's house better. Sarah laughs, actually laughs. Out of the mouths of babes. 6 months later, Sarah and I can text about schedule changes without passive-aggressive subtext. Emma spends Christmas morning at Sarah's and Christmas dinner at mine. We visit Charlie together when we go to my parents' house. And Emma never asks why Mommy and Daddy got so mad about Charlie, because she's 8 and has already moved on to more important things. Like whether we can get a cat. We're still discussing that one.